Hey guys, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we're going back to the great state of Arkansas. We're going to interview Mr. Marty Scudder. Marty got a top 10 finish last year at the BFL Arkie Division tournament on Lake Dardanelle. Lake Dardanelle is probably one of the most notorious bass fishing lakes in the state of Arkansas. Every angler in the state of Arkansas will tell you that the Dardanelle is probably in their top 3 list of favorite places to fish in the state of Arkansas. So really excited to talk to Marty tonight. He's going to give us a breakdown of his tournament from last year where he got a top 10, give his predictions for this year. That same tournament's coming up this weekend. So a lot of exciting content coming your way. Before we get started, Revital Outdoors is still proud to announce we are accepting entries into our $2,500 sweepstakes giveaway that will be featured at the end of the year. That lucky angler will be drawn at the end of the BFL season, and they will win a $2,500 package from Revital Outdoors, among our other great partners that are involved in this giveaway, such as Flambeau Outdoors, Costa Del Mar, Seagar Line, the Rod Glove, Lou's, Strike King, and Tackle Warehouse. So this is definitely not a giveaway you want to miss if you're any kind of fishing nut like Marty and I. So make sure you hit that link at the top of the description right below this video. Enter in. It just takes 3 seconds to do so. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's Revital Outdoors. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get notified when all the new content is dropping in the near future. And if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we are a premium CBD company. We offer premium CBD products to all the outdoor enthusiasts out there. Our products are THC-free, made right here in America. They're great for combating all the different ailments that outdoor enthusiasts like ourselves endure out there on the water or in the field. So check them out at our website. That's revitaloutdoors.com. And you can purchase them directly off our website as well. That being said, let's get right into the podcast. Let's bring Marty straight into the studio from the great state of Arkansas. Marty, how you doing this evening, bud?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on our podcast. So, man, let's get right into it. I checked out your profile on Major League Fishing. You've been fishing the Arkie division for quite a while now. You've got a really good reputation, and you've amassed some great finishes there in the Arkie division, especially on Lake Dardanelle. So let's just talk about it. Last year, able to walk away with that top 10 finish. Tell us a little bit about last year and how you were able to put it together.
Well, this time of year on Dardanelle, you've got a few things going. We're post-spawn. Mm-hmm. I wish I lived in a northern state. I really wish I could just follow that spawn, be like on the tour.
I was fixing to say, I don't know if I could deal with the cold that they deal with.
But we're, same time of year, we're post-spawn. We have a Shad-Spawn getting ready to happen. Matter of fact, I'm going to bet with full moon last week, it probably kicked off. So we've got a Shad-Spawn that's getting ready to happen, and we also have some other spawns that are getting ready to happen that I'm probably not going to mention because I plan on doing the same thing this year. Went through a couple of, I didn't grow up in Russellville, but I went to college in Russellville, and I was in a bass club there. So I had a lot of time on Dardanelle. I don't even practice Dardanelle hardly at all because I've got so much history there. I just run history. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what happened last year. I knew what was getting ready to happen. I knew how things might play out. I didn't have a fish in the boat until 10 o'clock. Wow. But once I found them, I found them. And within 150 yards, I sat there all day, went back and forth, and I seined that lake. And I mean that in the literal sense because I think I had 10 bites in that area. I had probably, 20 crappie. I had 3 or 4 catfish. I caught 3 turtles on crankbaits. Now, how many times has that ever happened to you?
I've never heard of that one. I've heard of some good ones, but I've never heard of turtles.
The fish, I'm telling you, were concentrated in that area.
Yeah. Sounds like you.
And there was a reason. There was a. Well, there wasn't, and I could see from my boat another angler that I know real well, and he's up there in the grass fishing the spawn or fishing the shad spawn, and I'm not too far from him, and I'm fishing the spawn too. It just happened to be a different kind of spawn. So once I got that figured out, I knew I could just sit there all day long. All right, look, it was little red sunfish. They were up on the rocks spawning, and found that spot, and back and forth I went. I mean, that's basically how it was done. I left it one time and went to another area and flipped a jig a little bit just to give it a rest, so I could come back and finish out the day. But it wasn't anything magic. That was what it was. Those little red sunfish were up there spawning, and I think everything in the world was up there eating them.
Yeah. So were you pretty much power fishing, like, just covering a lot of water, staying in the strike zone, or were you slowing down, finesse fishing them?
Well, and when it started, I didn't even start in the area. Like I said, I probably didn't have fish till 10 o'clock. I was power fishing. I knew what I was going to do. I started off with top water, and I was moving because I had to find the area that I was going to fish in. I knew I'd eventually find something. May not have been the winning, bite, and it wasn't. But it was one that got me up there for a good enough finish. So yeah, I was power fishing. I was moving. When I found the fish, I slowed down and just went back and forth. First time I probably covered a 350 yard area twice in an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I was trying to get everything out of there I could. If there was a fish there, I didn't want him escaping.
Right. Okay. How many keepers did you end up catching last year?
I think 8. I think I wound up calling 3 times. The last one was probably about 2:30. I think I had a pretty early weigh in, like a 3:15 weigh in. So last one about 2:30. It was about 2.5 pounds. I had a good 4 1/4 kicker in there that helped me out a lot, but I had a lot of solid fish.
Okay, I got you. Well, good for you. Sounds like a very solid tournament. Let's say going into this year, maybe that doesn't pan out. I know you guys have had a lot of weather. Water's up, water's dirty, a lot of current running right now. So let's say that doesn't pan out. What's a good option just to, go fishing and try to get bit? Maybe I'm talking about the anglers that never really been to Dardanelle before. Maybe they just want to experience it, just to have some fun. What you found, pretty special, pretty unique, difficult to maybe find if you don't know the lake very, very well. So what's just a good technique and a pattern that an angler can run on Dardanelle this time of year and really maximize his opportunity to get bites, if anything?
Stick a spinner bait in your hand and hit the bank with the grass.
My man, I like it.
Find you a windy bank and start chunking and winding.
I like it. So that sounds really, really good. Now, what about, let's take another step a little bit deeper. What about a co-angler? Co-angler's never been there. Boater's not really on anything. He's, spinning out, but he knows he's going to take 3 baits that he feels like he can get a lot of bites on, maximize his opportunity. I'm going to say 1, a spinnerbait. What's 2 other baits a co-angler can take?
Oh, if I'm a co-angler, I'm going to have a spinnerbait tied on. I'm going to have a square bill tied on. Probably a shad color square bill. And then I'm going to have something on the bottom. I personally like a jig. But man, a soft plastic of some sort, baby brush hog, green pumpkin, dip the tail in chartreuse. I mean, that works everywhere.
Yeah, especially in that area where you're at, Dardanelle. That there's something about flipping that brush hog, and Not a lot of people talk about it. I mean, you don't think about flipping an actual brush hog, but it's a phenomenal bait to flip. We talked about earlier kind of what you keyed in on last year. There's a reason why you want to dip those tails in chartreuse. If you don't remember what we talked about, go back and listen to it again, because I don't want to give it too much away. But you really hit the nail on the head there. And I mean, that bait, that technique has been catching fish on that lake for 3+ decades.
Forever. Yeah. I mean, it's not a real exciting bait to throw, at least not to me. But man, it'll catch fish.
That's absolutely true. The other thing about Dardanelle, with my experience on it, it makes it for a really easier time on the water. Is notoriously down here in Florida, where I live now, in Oklahoma, when you flip or you pitch a bait, normally people are flipping this time of year, especially with the water temperature or water level and all that. You want to throw it in there, you want to hop it, you want to jig it, hop it, jig it. For some reason, it seems like guys that I've gotten to know around Dardanelle and the experience myself, you don't really have to do that. You can pretty much flip in there. If they don't eat it on the fall, you can reel it in and keep going.
Drag it back out. Yep, that's exactly how I fish. And I don't swim a jig a lot, but I will hop a jig through that grass. And a lot of times like you say, I'll flip it in there. I'll hop it 2 times. If he doesn't touch it, I'm pulling it back out and going to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Marty, what do you think it's going to take weight this year? I've heard that the weights have been down the last couple of years. So that being said, what do you think it's going to take this year to walk away with it?
I think if somebody hits 16 pounds, somewhere between 15 and a half and 16, if they do any better than that, I know who it'll be.
I have a good idea.
And it's not me.
There's 2 brothers that live around that lake that notoriously, I mean, when we talk about
R&R,
yeah, I'm thinking of those guys. I'm thinking of the Grace boys. I'm thinking of Sean Gordon,
Wayne Dixon.
Wayne Dixon's another one. Keith Green, if he comes up there out of Arkadelphia, he'll be up there pretty good. Yep. There's some stout competition there at Dardanelle. I mean, don't let them fool you.
There's a lot of stout. Yeah, there's a lot of stout competition. Those Allen boys, they're tough to beat. Dixon's tough to beat. Webster's tough to beat. But the right day at the right time in the right place. And that's the thing about Dardanelle. It's not hard to go out there and find fish where you can bring 20 pounds in.
Right.
Even this time of year, 18, 19, 20 pounds is not unheard of. It's not going to happen that often. Mm-hmm. But I've been in spots where in 20 minutes you can have 20 pounds in the boat.
Oh, absolutely. One thing's for sure, the weights might be getting down the last couple of years. There might be some, conditions to the lake changing a little bit. I've heard the grass is, really starting to struggle this, in the last couple of years. But regardless of that, regardless of the weight, there's going to be a lot of limits weighed in on Saturday.
That's right. The
lake's still full of fish.
It is. And it's got some good ones in it. It's just those, I think, that know the lake better than others are probably going to be the ones, up there. Because Dardanelle is not an easy lake to learn, especially if you live 3 hours away and you're having to practice, whenever you can. And that's kind of the way the BFLs are. You don't take a week off of work for a BFL. You might take a couple of days, and you cannot learn that lake in a couple of days.
No, it's tough. The only guys that I know that are extremely consistent and extremely good on Dardanelle grew up there, lived there. Another one is Evan Barnes, but he grew up there, lived there,
Yep.
He was on the lake in high school every day. So how that boy got through and graduated from Arkansas Tech, I couldn't tell you, because I fished against him in college, and every single time I would talk to him, he was on the lake. I'm like, Evan, do you ever go to class, dude? Like, what's going on here? So – but regardless, it's going to be a great tournament. Marty, before I let you go, really great podcast, a lot of great information about the post-spawn early summertime pattern on Lake Dardanelle. I know, looking at your social media, you got a lot of great people that support you there in the Arkansas area where you live, a great family, friends as well. Anybody like to give a shout-out or a thank you to before we let you go?
I do. I'm sponsored by Titan Goodyear. They have helped me so much in my little venture here, and playing around really is what I call it, in the Toyota series and the BFLs. So those I'd like to give a shout out to. Other than that, I've got Brazalo Custom Lures. He supplied me with some things that I've thrown in the past and done pretty well with. If you get a chance, look them up. Other than that, if you get a chance, check out Scud Missile Fishing on YouTube, or I don't ever go there hardly. I don't know why I said that one. Scud Missile Fishing on Facebook and Instagram. I'm there.
Well, good deal. So, Marty, again, thank you for joining us on our podcast. For all the listeners out there, you've been talking to Mr. Marty Scudder, a top 10 angler from the BFL Arkie Division tournament on Lake Dardanelle. That same tournament's coming up this weekend, so good luck to all the Arkansas anglers fishing it this coming weekend. Before we let you go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. I want to say a big thank you to all the anglers that have been on this podcast and all of the subscribers and people that have been watching. We've been having a lot of great reviews, a lot of great fun doing these podcasts. It's just been a really great opportunity for Revital Outdoors to be interviewing all the BFL anglers around the country. So thank you to everyone that supported this channel. Make sure you get in on that $2,500 sweepstakes giveaway. You've been watching the rotating banner. Just hit that link at the top of the description right below this video. It takes 2 or 3 seconds to enter in your information, and you will be entered to win that $2,500 giveaway at the end of the year. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, again, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be safe out there, guys. God bless. We'll talk to everyone